Manufactured and developed in Switzerland, Powatec's U-300 LED UV exposer is a very efficient solution to expose UV tape for wafers up to 300 millimeters and its corresponding frame. Usually this process step is done after dicing of the wafer to reduce the tape adhesion when picking the die. With its 72 high-power LEDs, this device is capable of UV curing most of the commercially available tapes. Compared to traditional mercury vapor lamps, once switched on, the U-300 is instantly ready to operate. Using only a narrow bandwidth of 365 nanometers in the UVA range, neither harmful ozone nor dangerous mercury gas is generated during LED exposure. The required exposure dose is controlled by selecting the corresponding conveyor speed and allows for the selection of a dose from 145 up to 1,520 millijoules per square centimeter. Higher energy doses can be achieved if the substrate is exposed a second time immediately after the first cycle. Open the lid and place the wafer on the left side of the unit with the UV tape facing down. Determine the required UV dose based on the data sheet of the tape manufacturer. Select the speed at the potentiometer according to the conversion table in the manual. Start the curing cycle by pushing the green button. UV LED's exposure happens from below up onto the tape. A limit switch detects when the wafer reaches the end of the conveyor and will automatically stop the conveyor until the wafer is removed. After an idle time of 10 minutes, the U-300 will automatically switch to standby mode and can be resumed by pressing the green power button or the micro switch. Working safety is maintained by the blue protective glass specifically selected by Powatec, which allows for working with the lid open during UV curing. If the customer has special requirements, it is possible to activate an additional safety switch to monitor and allow operations only if the lid is closed. The high-power LEDs in the U-300 have a cycle lifetime of over 5 years with daily use. Oxygen has the tendency to inhibit the proper reaction of reducing the tape adhesion during UV irradiation. This may have an effect especially on small and fragile die structures during the picking process. In this case, an optionally available purge distributes a small quantity of nitrogen evenly over the wafer surface via an array of small holes in the blue protective glass. This reduces the concentration of oxygen right at the spot of UV irradiation. To carry out reference measurements or to provide a redundant proof of quality of the UV exposure process, Powatec recommends the use of a UV integrator. This tool is transported over the conveyor similar to a wafer. If UV tape is exposed on grip rings or the substrate thickness exceeds 7 millimeters, it is recommended that optionally available spacers are used over the LED strips to prevent the LEDs from coming in contact with the grip rings or the small substrate. The short setup time, low operating costs, slim dimensions, and high-quality results have made the U-300 an international industry standard in cleanroom use for over 15 years.